Thank you a lot, Florian, and I will invite you to stay with us for the panel. So, and I'll continue to invite Simona, Anghel, Sales Head, Treasury and Trade Solution at Citi, Romania. Mihai, Marinescu, Global Lead of Transformation Testing at Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Thank you for joining us. And also Cosmin Curticăpean, you know him from yesterday, founder and CEO at iFactor. Okay, just a short question for Florian, because we've seen the presentation, and congrats for that. It's very insightful, and I'm guessing it's quite new for our market. We've seen that a lot of the conclusions of the report is that SMEs mainly switch due to bank charges and service quality. But I was curious, how would you define poor quality in SMEs offerings?
It's a very good question because it was on the slide that I skipped. So we did this,
sorry about that.
But
because of me, you skipped it.
But that's fine because now I have the chance to talk about it. So we did, we did a nice project thinking about how to redesign completely re-engineer the offering of SMEs, and we started obviously listing some hypotheses, thinking about things like what do they need in terms of banking offering or beyond banking offering, why do they switch, and what are they unhappy with their current bank. And yes, one of the real reasons that SMEs switch is because of bank charges or service quality. I'll come back in a second. What does it mean, service quality? It can mean a lot. Actually, the more surprising thing, because that page was written in a way that's something you would expect, and then the true answer or what's really happening is different. What's surprising about that is SMEs that tend to switch because of those pricing costs, commissions, or service quality, they still tend to be less satisfied when they switch. However, SMEs that switch because of actually solving a pure business needs, they tend to be more satisfied. So as a bank, if I would be a bank, I would think there's no point actually in just fighting over price, on just playing aggressive on price, because I will only attract, at the end of the day, customers which will always be unsatisfied for something. But I should rather think to make them switch customers to when I really solve a need for them, yeah? When I really help them to buy something faster or to pay something on time. Service quality is well, it can mean a lot of things. Maybe I'll give you an example. One of the great examples on that page with a lot of brands out there, in terms of service quality, it's a bank called Starling in UK. I think some of you know them by now. By the way, profitable digital bank, unlike many others, very profitable. 2.5 million customers in retail, 500,000 in SMEs. They don't do marketing that much. They grew simply by word of mouth, similar to Nubank in Brazil, but they grew by word of mouth because of the service quality. And what does it mean, service quality with them? Is if you're a customer of Starling and you call at 11 p.m. in the night because you have a problem, there's not going to be any IVR, any message, any melody, any song, nothing. It's just going to be one person picking up the phone. That's it.
Got it. Okay, great example, and this was the missing link for me, at least, from your presentation. Now I will go to Mihai, because I know that he has a lot of experience here regarding SMEs, and as a board advisor for a couple of SMEs on top of his corporate role. I wanted to ask you, from this customer perspective, how do you see the development of SME lending and SME offerings in general?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me here. You know, I'm the odd one out in this room because I was brought here as a guinea pig, as the customer to be put in front of you, customer 101 of Florian, if you want. I wear multiple hats as a guinea pig because I'm an advisor, as Răzvan was saying, in the board of a couple of SMEs. I'm a very vocal retail customer. And I'm an executive in a big enterprise, so I can see, the customer perspective from multiple angles. And I think that from the SME's perspective, specifically in Romania, I would definitely agree with, what the 100 SMEs said. It's still perceived, compared to other geographies, not necessarily compared to absolute expectations that you were saying, Florian, about pricing. So simply compared to other geographies, in Romania, credit for SMEs is seen as having too high of a collateral, too high of a cost, and too high of a turnaround time. That's the perception. And of course, the expectation here is to go for digitization, and digitization is everything and nothing. It's one of those hype things that we all talk about, but it's not always something tangible. But for me, digitization would mean full end-to-end digitization, the kind of digitization that would allow those 2 minutes to happen. And those 2 minutes can happen not only if I digitize, as one of my previous speakers was saying, digitize an analog process, because that's definitely not the way to go if you want a turnaround time in minutes or hours for credit, as opposed to months, as it might be today. I don't know if perceived or not. But it's about digitizing the whole thing from, applying online to a credit all the way to, the final transfer of cash through, most importantly, the decision. Because the last, line of defense for old-style banking and, the perception coming from the SMEs is that banks are not willing to let go of a decision being taken by a human. And just as a fun fact, I think that in the past 5 years we've had studies on judges approving bails and on doctors making diagnoses, and guess what? Artificial intelligence was able to beat them both. They beat the doctors by a very small margin, I think 1 or 2 percentage points, but they beat the judges making bail decisions by something like 20 percentage points. So I think that it's good to think about how we let AI make some decisions when it comes to risks and when it comes to credit, and that would allow us a good experience.
Thanks, Mihai. I will go to take now the bank perspective. So I will go to Simona and ask her about the outlook for getting financed by a bank in 2022 and in 2023. We know that it's a very tough outlook today, but how do you see this financing gap, and how do you finance after all the SMEs we are talking about now?
Thank you,
Just push the button. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Cosmin. So hello everybody, and thank you, Răzvan, for the invitation and for the question. Indeed, we are facing some difficult times, and I would say that we already observe an increase of need of working capital financing. And I would say that this comes especially from all these energy prices increase that we are all facing, which translates into various additional costs for gap of liquidity and the definite need of an extended working capital solutions and working capital financing, actually. I would say that there are various solutions available on the market, and in this area I wanted to share the ones that are easily accessible irrespective of the size of the company, and which don't imply necessarily risk assessment and all that extreme due diligence, let's say. So instead of looking for the traditional loan and the traditional financing solutions, our recommendation would be to look at the alternatives like the trade finance solutions. Probably everybody heard about the supply chain finance type of structures, which give access to financing in the way more easily, let's say, than a traditional loan, because it doesn't imply any risk assessment of the particular supplier or of the particular company. And compared with a classical factoring solution, let's say, this has no implication on the company itself, has no reverse over the particular supplier. This would be one. Then we can also discuss about the receivables discounting, the trade loans, which are the tailor-made, let's say, type of loans, tailor-made to the commercial flows of each company. I would say that, I don't know, from a Citi perspective, we are looking to further develop other solutions in this perspective and to support all the disruptions we are seeing at the moment, even in the supply chain, based on, I don't know, purchase orders, for instance, and so on. And then there's a closing remark, let's say, to this question. I think the mission of a bank in this type of crisis situations, which usually opens up the gate for several opportunities, is actually to identify those projects or those business ideas that have a real future, let's say, that have a real way to succeed further on a long term.
Yeah, got it. And going back to what Mihai started about digitization, I am curious how much of the interactions with the SMEs did you manage to digitize in the last years? I mean, how much of what you are doing for SMEs is on a digital channel?
Right. So first, maybe to break a paradigm here, that Citi is indeed serving SMEs, and that this happened a while back when we have extended the target market, and we look at all sizes and shapes and business ideas, let's say. Second, digital, I think, is that area in which the bank decided at the top of the house to invest many years ago. We've chosen this route instead of the brick and mortar type of investments, let's say, and we focused around the digital solutions. And I would say that this is applicable to all type of clients that we are working on, including with the SMEs, Răzvan. I don't know, to bring only a small statistic, at the EMEA level, for instance, 90% of our clients from all business segments are using digital tokens, for instance, for the basic internet banking system.
Got it.
Yeah.
Going now to Cosmin, because I know that iFactor helps a lot of SMEs to get financed, and I was curious, how do you see the, I don't know, next 6 months? What challenges do you see for SMEs right now? And of course, you are also like an SME, so you have your own challenges.
Thank you, Răzvan. Hello, everyone. First, I would like to start by actually saying that indeed, I think that if we are looking into how to solve the SME lending space and what are the bottlenecks, most probably we should look into the underwriting part, the risk assessment of the SMEs most probably will have to still be kept under the human decision, but with automated technologies. And also probably for an SME it's a tough choice to probably understand the supply chain finance, because basically there you have the big customer, which is the debtor of those suppliers, and you are in contact with him. So basically the SMEs, they don't know about the solution. If they are not the supplier, if they are not the supplier of these customers of such a debtor. So at the end of the day, I guess in the next 6 months, indeed SMEs will face lots of challenges. Most of them, and I think the biggest one actually is the increase of the interest rate, because the inflation brought along also the increase of cost for financing. But there is something else actually. What we are seeing in the market is that banks become more reluctant to go out and take that risk that Florian was speaking earlier about. And that's also because in this new way of very often repeating and recurrent downfalls of economical cycles. The history of the behavior of the company, so the performance of the company, economical performance of the company, of the SME, is not any longer so relevant for the risk that a lender should underwrite. So what I want to say is that if you're looking back to the performance of the company, you will not any longer be able to predict the future performance of the company so that they will be able to repay the loan. So solutions like iFactor actually come into place. We have built a very robust analytics and credit scoring engine based on indeed alternative data. And when I refer to alternative data, because you can see a lot of solutions out there saying that they are relying on alternative data, I really refer to things like, I don't know, taking all the balance sheet and financials to be obsolete and try to convert into creditworthiness or credit index data like, is the entrepreneur speaking a foreign language? Which is that? Is Spanish or Japanese or I don't know. Or for example, did he perform a sport when he was young or and currently? Or for example, data like transactional behavior. We have now open banking, so this is very valuable data we can pull off. So in the next 6 months, I think what will happen in the market is that there will be some players that will be able to address better these solutions, and probably will not be the banks because they are quite slow because of the processes and flows and decisional distance between the execution of the innovation and the boards of the banks. So this is why fintechs like iFactor will basically be in a pole position.
You just put all the banks in your head, but it's okay.
Not at all.
No. We will switch to another interesting topic, and you've mentioned tailor-made solutions. So I don't know, personal offerings. You, Simona and Mihai mentioned this kind of approach. And I wanted to ask you all about how do you see these personal offerings? I mean, for you, Mihai, what is a personal offering from a bank? What would you expect for a bank when they say tailor-made solutions?
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to say that, from my enterprise head perspective, from a Hewlett Packard enterprise perspective, our relationship with Citi is the kind of relationship where you get the kind of personalization that we need. We have non-standard needs, and they know our needs, by an account manager with a lot of human touch, and, they go actually to anticipate those needs. As a retail customer, I have a bit of an issue with the fact that after a relationship of 17 years with my bank, where I had my salaries, my savings, my kids' accounts, my life, my dreams, everything, in that bank. The bank is nice, and it's offering me every day a happy hour where, for instance, I can do FX at a very good rate with a limit of 1,500 euros. My small first world problem is the fact that that's the hour when I'm typically at the gym. But then my ego problem is that after 17 years of relationship, I get the same as the guy just walking in. I haven't seen, an attempt for the bank to know me, to look at how much do I exchange, and, anything about it, any sort of personalization and so on. And I know that retail is kind of the last area where you want to go personal, at least from a bank's perspective. But nonetheless, as a retail customer, I would love to have a bit more than that.
Got it. Simona, how do you deliver tailor-made solution?
Well, from a bank perspective, and for us in particular, things are quite easy because I think this is in our DNA. We don't offer the off-the-shelf type of solutions, and we go with the tailor-made approach, irrespective if we talk about or with HPE or iFactor. I mean, we are supporting and addressing any type of business in the same manner with the customization, trying to understand the business model and addressing, offering whatever is really suitable to that company. We don't put in front of each of our clients all of the solutions. So yeah, tailor-made is the name of the game for us.
Okay, got it. Florian, if you can add here your personal opinion, like a retail client or so.
I'm gonna answer as a consultant, not as a retail client. I think personalization is not what necessarily customers want. It's gonna sound a bit weird. In this survey, am întrebat 100 de români, nobody said I want a personalized offer. They said I want something that solves my needs. And I truly think at the end of the day, you don't do personalization just for the sake of doing personalization. It's going to cost a lot. You're going to invest time, money in data analytics, all sorts of stuff. Just what? To be able to do, at the end of the day, risk-based pricing and call it personalized pricing. Of course, it's going to be personalized, but the customer doesn't care that it's his only offer and every other customer has something else. He cares for you to solve his problem. And I think very successful players out there, especially in terms of lending, yeah, personalization means you understand the risk very well and you understand the relationship. So you do risk-based pricing, relationship-based pricing. You may tailor, for example, reimbursement patterns, like the example from IOCA, but that's pretty much it. If you do these kind of things, you're going to solve a lot of problems for the customer. In a nutshell, I'd rather think what's the problem you solve, not how you personalize for the sake of personalization.
Okay, thanks. Cosmin, I will slightly modify the question for you because I know that you are also planning a tailor-made solution, but it's in the BNPL niche. So tell me more about this solution and how do you deliver this tailor-made approach with your new solution?
So, but I would still like to just say like 10 seconds something about, yeah. I think that one way or another we are going towards the semantic analytics in the near future because indeed the AI and the pool of data will be so high that at the end of the day there will be automated solutions, semantic type of solutions in retail and it will be easy actually, it will not be so cost effective. From the perspective of the tailor-made solutions, I don't think that the model that we are trying to apply, the buy now pay later for SMEs, and we are working on this product as we speak, is necessarily tailor-made. It's not from that, let's say, category. I think it's more something that on a large scale, there is a huge demand from that, on that part. In Romania, there are lots of, there is a big chunk of SMEs which are underbanked. A lot of them being very cash intensive and a lot of distribution. So there is a chain of distribution which is quite intensive in the Romanian economy. Therefore, I think that the connection between the two with an innovative solution involves two main, let's say, secret sauces. One of them being an infrastructure for payments and settlements, as Florian said. And we are now working on the e-money solution exactly for being able to deploy and interconnect the distributors with the SMEs through different channels like open banking or debit cards for being able to actually pay. And we translate actually through a loan, which is combined in the lending part between the distributor and a lender or the distributor himself, this deployment of this loan on this card. So it's at this point it sounds complicated and probably it's hard for me to explain exactly the mechanics behind, but And at the end of the day, for the SME, the solution will be simple. They will be able to either pay installments with or without interest rate, dependent on the industry or dependent on the distributor's power of financial power. And we have done indeed also some research on that matter. We started this project in the collaboration with card scheme in Romania, one of the two. And basically in January we will start testing the product. So yeah.
Happy to learn about the big launch in January. Okay, I think we ran out of time for some time, but I will have like 4 minutes to ask Simona about a use case in the trade solutions, because it's not a maybe so popular term for a lot of SMEs. So I wanted to know like one of the most popular use cases in the trade solution approach in the trade solution area.
I'll go back to the supply chain finance one. I like it.
Me too.
And the idea is that indeed banks are building these programs in partnership with large buyers, corporates, multinationals, and so on. And the reason I like this solution is because it's really helping the business environment to have an end-to-end continuity. And because it gives this easy access for the suppliers to a financing tool. They can collect faster, even though the buyer might be interested in extending the payment terms. And by getting the funds faster, by being paid faster, they can route more, actually. They can have more cash to support the business. And this is a solution which we in Citi see growing, let's say, in preference for our clients. And in Romania, we've seen quite a rapid increase in the last months of companies joining these type of programs. And I think it's a matter of education also, and will agree with Cosmin here that this is something that is not quite known by suppliers on the local market. And I think all of us should do a bit more in this respect to educate the suppliers so that they can understand what it means for them actually to be part of such a program. Because basically it's something that doesn't imply any risk assessment on the supplier. In our case, it doesn't require any account opening, so it's quite straightforward. And as mentioned, it is something we see growing in terms of preferences for clients and suppliers at the same time in the region and also in Romania.
Got it. Thank you very much, and thank you all for being here today. Cosmin, Simona, Mihai, and Florian.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.